Oh, man. So where do you see this going in the future? I know we got to wrap up soon. Where do you see the future of Scientology going in 20, 30, 40 years when David Miscavige is eventually, he dies and moves on, someone else is going to take over? What's the future of Scientology?
Dim. It's going to continue to decline and erode. With that much money and that much property, it takes a long time for something like that to go away entirely. I don't think that the subject will ever totally go away, because there'll always be books and people that are like, yeah, well, we find this helpful and this and that.
Yeah.
But I think that within the next few years, there will be a revisiting of their tax-exempt status. And when that happens, that will effectively be the end, because the organization can't survive with any scrutiny of where it's spending its money. If Scientologists understood and knew how much of the money they give to Scientology gets spent to pay high-priced lawyers, private investigators, smear sites on the internet, and all the other shit that goes on, there was a lot of them that would just go, I can't participate in that.
Yeah.
When it's happening in the sort of abstract, they don't really know and they don't really have to look and nobody ever really tells them what's really going on, then they remain willfully ignorant.
Right. Willfully blind.
As soon as the IRS required Scientology to provide tax returns, and they would have to report on where they're spending their money and what they spend their money on, all hell would break loose. Because they tell people that, you have to give us money for Hurricane blah blah, or the tornadoes that just landed in Kansas City. And they tell people all over the world that you have to give us money for this because we're going to go help. And they may collect $10 million. And they will fly a film crew and 10 people there and put them in yellow shirts, have them do a little work, do a video of it, and then send it out and say, look, here's the great work that all of our people did. Now you need to give us more money so that we can do more work. If people actually saw how little of the money they have given to Scientology got spent on the things that Scientology claims it is spent on, they would stop giving money altogether.
Wow. There's got to be a way that someone out there is soon going to be able to prove all this with like hard evidence. You would think it's going to happen sooner or later.
Yeah.
I can't believe it hasn't happened already.
I keep saying, look, if you want to do it, the smart way is how the FBI did it in 1977. Because Scientology keeps incredible records. They keep records of everything. And you want to prove the case, go get the records.
Yeah. Wow. Well, that was invigorating 2 hours. Thank you so much for doing that. Tell the people listening and watching where they can watch and listen to your new podcast and look at your website.
Oh, well, Danny, the podcast is called Scientology Fair Game. It's on iHeart Podcast, but it's available on Spotify and Apple. I mean, you can find it anywhere.
Okay.
My blog is called mikerendersblog.org. And then I created a website called fairgamepodcast.com, which contains documents and links to each episode of the Fair Game podcast.
Okay. So when they're listening to the audio version, they can go on the website and look at all the documents that you're referencing?
Correct.
Awesome. Cool. Mike Rinder, thank you so much for your time. I hope to have you on again in the future.
You're very welcome.